Last round. Fight.
Hello and welcome to the Last Round podcast. I'm your host Dan Saunders. Joining me as always, my co-host Anton Austin. Got a special guest today for our Christmas episode, Dakota Ditcheva. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So obviously, like, you started training Muay Thai at a young age. Like, your mum was like a world champion in her day. What age was your first like what you class as like pro bout C class?
I think my first pro was like, might have been 15, 16, I think. It was quite young, to be honest. Yeah. I think because obviously my mum had a name in the sport, I got pushed up quite quick. So straight away was kind of, she's quite tough anyway. So she was like, oh, you'll be fine. So it's fine. Go on, you can get in. And it was just like, everyone already knew her name. So it was like, here's Lisa's daughter. So it kind of built up dead quick and I was in by like 15, I think.
When you was a kid, did you ever did you feel like it was ever forced on you, or did you not want to do it, or did you always enjoy doing it?
No, I think that's why I'm still doing it now, is because like I started when I was 4 and then I stopped until I was like 13. So that big break where my mum didn't push me to do it, like I think because I made the decision on my own, that's why I'm like here now. I think that's a really important thing for kids, isn't it? Like a lot of pushy parents these days, but if you just let them kind of do their own thing, they come back to
you even see it in like kids on like Sunday league football or whatever, like the parents probably push it, they just like go the other way, don't they?
Yeah. It happens a lot, to be honest, at the moment in this sport, but you see the ones that push through it, don't you?
Yeah. So I was watching some of your fights last night, and I noticed that you fought Amy Perney at 17. Like, that's a bit mad, that, isn't it? Really.
It
like,
isn't it? Yeah.
I didn't think you were 17 then. I was in the way, didn't it? I said 17.
I think your 10th fight as well. Like, that is quite a big. I don't say big leap, but I mean it is kind of a big leap. Like.
Yeah, it was massive at the time. It was kind of just like, I'm at the top and she's at the top, so that's kind of what you have to do, like to go through it. But when I look back on it now, I probably wasn't ready. Like I wasn't matured at that age. I was a late developer anyway, so I was like smaller than I should be. And I just think, it was probably a bit too early, but at the time it was the right thing to do. So
it was a sick fight as well, though. Like, I think it like a fight of the night or whatever as well. Like, it was back and forth. It wasn't as if it was like one-sided or anything.
Yeah, I mean the first few rounds, I think I was on my arse for most of it.
You did get swept a bit.
After that, I got a bit better. I kind of came into it in the last 2 rounds, but yeah, I think if we were to run that back now, it'd be just as good. It'd be a good fight.
You can definitely see now you've matured. You're a lot more physical, a lot stronger. Then you were still like a bit of a girl. Now you're a woman.
Yeah,
you can tell.
Definitely, yeah. You could see my shape and everything. I was still like.
That was at like 51 kg as well, wasn't it?
Mad. Yeah, which now I don't think I'd ever be able to meet that weight again.
I don't think Amy Perney fights at that weight anymore, does she?
I don't know.
I think she fights like 55 maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that fight anyway? Like, did you take a lot out of it?
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of like, it was a big step up for me anyway, which I always think is good. And then I just think like, it was just the tactics in the fight as well. Like a lot of the game plan when I was fighting was wrong. So like she's a low kicker, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And we switched stances at the start, but then I kept getting swept because I hadn't practiced it enough. But then I never switched back. Right. So in the next like round 2 and 3, I was still getting swept. Whereas really, if I'd switched back straight away, it would have been better. So just little things like that we missed out. We could have gone a little bit better.
So I noticed on the commentary they were talking about you going to Thailand and fighting and training over there. What was that experience like? Because obviously now like they've started letting women fight in the stadiums and stuff, but back then that was like a mile away.
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy over there. To be honest, when my mum used to fight, she never used to be like allowed in the ring or anything when she was over there. Like they won't let her. One of the things she remembers is that when she first went over to Thailand to fight, she wanted to sit down on the ring and watch because they wouldn't let her train. Yeah. But they put newspaper down for her to sit on because they wouldn't let her sit on the ring.
What the hell?
Which is just crazy. So if you think how much times have changed now, but it's still only just changing again, isn't it? Like with them fighting in stadiums and stuff. But I think in gyms and stuff like that, it's all pretty. It's not equal, I wouldn't say, but it's 10 times better than it used to be. So my experience over there is, I think they're quite fascinated by the girls. I think everyone thinks girl fights are interesting, don't they?
Yeah.
So I think they're getting quite used to it over there now.
You went to the IFMAs as well, didn't you? I mean, you was younger.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
That's probably the best experience I had as a junior. I'd recommend that to anyone. I just think like getting it's hard, isn't it, to get matched, and when you fight in C class and stuff with no shin guards or even A class and that, you're getting injured all the time. You can have one fight and then you need a bit of time off, whereas at the IFMAs it was like 4 fights while you were over there, so it was like the experience that you need.
Elbows as well.
Yeah, with all the equipment on, it was kind of just like it was perfect, to be honest. And I wish I'd done it as an adult as well, because I did it for 4 years, and then when I was going to go up to the adult one, I transitioned over to MMA. So.
I've seen him on Barlows recently.
I was going to ask you about that, because like obviously she's at like 300 fights and she's fighting like people, not amateurs, but not like high level fighters. And I'm just thinking like, is that right that she's had this much experience and she's still kind of like fighting amateur level people? It seems a little bit weird, but
it is weird, and there is quite a bit of like, you know, people talk about it a lot. Like, to be honest, when I was there, I think like even it might have even been Superbon was competing in it, and he was just wiping everyone out, and we were all like, is this really fair?
Yeah.
Like, it's an amateur contest, but now I suppose loads of people are doing it, so I
think there's a lot of funding involved in some of them other countries if you win it.
Yeah, like Russia and all that.
Because I've seen that captain from one championship he's just smashed it. That's and it's like he's banging people out in one. It's and like now
Tyson Fury fighting in the Olympics or something like. Mad. Wouldn't be fair.
Get paid to do it, don't
they?
To
they?
Represent.
That's what it is.
The pro people get paid for it, whereas the amateurs don't.
Right, okay. So when you were fighting Thai, obviously you fought out of Northern Spirit. You know, your mum was a world champion, your brother was in your corner. What was that experience like, having like, you know, your family with you there all the way?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird now. I've gone to a different gym and I don't have my mum in my corner. That's weird.
Yeah.
For me, when I did have her in my corner, it was kind of like the norm.
Yeah.
Like she's always been my instructor. My brother has like.
Yeah.
That's kind of just my routine. But then when I changed and she's not anymore, it's a bit different. But it's weird because I don't hear my mum's voice very well in the ring. I don't really listen to it that well. But I think that's because the mum relationship with it. The trainer I listen to, but the mum, it's kind of a bit like I kind of switch off. So she normally says to my brother what she wants me to do, and then he shouts it, and I can hear him better. But it's a really weird relationship to have in a sport, but it's worked for us, hasn't it? So
you see it quite a lot in Thai as well, like dads or mums training their kids. Like, I'm trying to think who there is now. Like, you got George Jarvis.
Yeah, Aman's the same. Aman and
Aman
Ty,
Barlow.
Parents,
Joe Ryan coming through as well now.
Yeah,
see it quite a lot now.
Yeah.
You know, when you fought Thai, like when I was looking at like the records, like before the fights, a lot of the people you fought like a lot more experienced than you. Like, did that phase you at all at that time, fighting more experienced people, or just kind of got to take what you can get?
Yeah, it was literally that. Just take what you can get. I think again, it's just my mum's name in the sport just pushed me up so quick. Like, it was really difficult. That was one of the reasons I moved over to MMA as well. Because I wanted a fresh start, But even then, when I moved over to that, it was like my name just took off again because everyone knew me already. So it's something I've always been used to. Though we kind of just went with it all, and I think that's just the journey that I've been on.
I was going to ask you that because like back then and also now, like we spoke to other female fighters and they've had times where they've gone like a year or two without getting a fight or having to fight the same people over and over again. Like, and even I remember speaking to you in, I think it was like October or something before your last MMA fight, and you, like, your opponent got changed like in the week of the fight. Like, is that frustrate you?
Oh, to be honest, I'm used to it now. Every time I fight, like literally.
Was it a Brazilian as well?
Yeah, Brazilian. They literally flew her over straight away. But it was like a week before, I always get a change of opponents, and it's just it's a nightmare, to be honest. You know, when you want to just focus on one person and be able to like have a full camp and prepare yourself to fight that person, it just never happens. But it's kind of just something I'm used to. So.
What you like before your fights? I remember being in a change room one time. I can't remember what show we both fought on the same show, but I remember
it was the main event, maybe.
Yeah, I think it might have been, but I remember like you being so like relaxed and like smiling. It's mad, you know. It's weird that I remember that.
Yeah, but just always smiling.
No, I'm quite.
Paul's show on it. Too ready.
No, it wasn't that one. It was another one. I remember that, but you seem dead relaxed there and like smiling and laughing. I'm quite serious and quite like don't really talk too much, but I remember you being dead relaxed. I just wondered, like, I know Cody, he's a quite bubbly guy himself, you know, he's dead chilled. You alright, mate? He doesn't ever look stressed out at all, but is that just something that you feel that comfortable around your mum and your brother and stuff on fight night? Is that what makes you that type of way? Or
I think so. I don't know whether it's them two. I think it's just me in general. I'm just quite relaxed. Like, I don't know, I've always been like that. I'm like that now, even when I don't have my mum in my corner. Like, with my other coaches, I'm quite chilled. Yeah. I don't know why. Inside, I'm probably quite like, I do get really nervous. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm probably shit myself inside. Yeah. But I'm fine. Like, I can just chill. Yeah. I think part of it's my routine as well. Like, I just chill out. Literally after my weigh-in, it's kind of just chilled. Yeah. I'm like, to be honest, I go to the gym and still stay around people. Like, I still chat. I think if I sit still and don't be that bubbly person, I'll probably go under a bit. Yeah. Like, the way I deal with my emotions is just to like crack on like it's just a normal day.
Yeah. Do you have any like pre-fight rituals or anything you do? Do you do the same thing every time you fight on the fight day or nothing like that? Just
I have roughly the same routine, but I wouldn't say I do anything specific. Like, I'll get up and we normally like go for breakfast or something. I'll have a breakfast. I'll get my hair done. And then I'll like chill out, and I always go up later than everyone else. So like, I normally drive myself, which is another thing people say, like, why are you driving? Yeah. Especially when it's like an hour away sometimes. But I feel like that chills me out driving. Like, I always take myself there. Yeah, turn up later on, but.
No, it's true that as well, because like, say if I'm like anxious about anything or whatever, if I'm driving, it just kind of takes my mind completely off it, because you're just concentrating on like, you know, the road or whatever.
Yeah.
I've said to you, I went on the way to like shows sometimes when it's me, Paul, and did it. I can, when me and Paul are both fighting together, Paul's a little bit more quiet, like myself. But then when them two are not fighting, it's me. They're bubbly and laughing, and I can sense their energy. They're thinking, why are they being so quiet? It makes me a little bit more nervous. Whereas maybe driving does take your mind off it a little bit.
Was your last like stand-up, sorry, it was kickboxing, but was it your last stand-up fight on MTGP against that Olmo?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was in Bulgaria.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was that experience like, fighting over there?
That was unreal. To be honest, I was done with Thai. I weren't even going to like fight again until they said it was in Bulgaria. And do you want to fight? Obviously, being half Bulgarian, my family over there never seen me.
Come on.
They've never seen me fight it like in person, so it was like a no-brainer, to be honest. But that was unreal, fighting in somewhere. I felt like I was in Thailand again.
That's good.
But that was good. Yeah. Really good.
One thing that I'm kind of curious about, because I've seen it with him when he fought in London like a few weeks ago, when you've got to like make weight and stuff, like, and you're not in the comfort of your own home, like you can't get in the bath or do your own thing, like how difficult is that?
Yeah, it's weird, especially when you're weight cutting as well. Like if I've been water loading and you have to bath or anything like that, it's weird. But to be honest, I used to do it all at home and have like do the same thing every time. But in my last MMA fight, I actually stayed over at a hotel the night before weigh-in. And then went straight there. And I felt like it 10 times better. Like
I was considering that one time as well. Just the towels and everything, just having it all like set out.
Literally everything. To be honest, I would have never done that if one of my teammates hadn't said, right, you need to come here, make your weight and go straight away. I would have never done it, because I would have thought, being at home, I feel 10 times better in the comfort of my home, like doing it there with everyone. But there was like so much less stress, like being away from the gym and being away from people. It just felt so different. So I think I'll do that every time now. And I suppose it gets you used to being abroad and being in a hotel room and having to cut and stuff like that.
Because like when he fought in London on Lion Fight a few weeks ago, like there was no bath in the hotel in it, and you're used to cutting weight in the bath.
The nightmare.
So he had to lose it on the day of the weigh-in in the sauna, like in the morning.
I was in a bad way, wasn't I?
Yeah. Like a zombie.
Very bad way.
And it's mad how like mentally it affects you, doesn't it? Like
I was fuming. I was like, how have they not given me a bath? It was like in a travel lodge, and then they were saying, oh, there's only family rooms. I was like, well, I'll pay extra. Can I get a family room? There's like, no. I was like, oh my God. So we had to sauna it, didn't we? But God. Yeah.
Never again.
Deep times. Yeah.
You said that if you ever get on that show again, get me in a hotel with a fucking
get
bath,
me a bath. Yeah.
So with that being your last like stand-up fight, how did you kind of know at that time you were already going to transition into MMA? Like, were you already training it, or?
Yeah, I think I'd already fought MMA. I think I'm sure I'd already fought two MMA.
I think you might have,
a few amateur ones. And then they offered me that fight. I was like, oh, I'll come back and do one, but I'm not staying. And then I get asked all the time now, like, are you going to do Thai again? I say no. No, well, never say never.
Surprised you never. Did you ever consider Glory or anything like that with a kickboxing background?
Yeah, you know? Definitely Glory. Like K1, I like K1 rules. Quite a fast-paced fighter. I'm not really like the typical Thai style. Like, I'm not good at clinch or sweeping or anything like that.
You go forward a lot though, don't you? You don't just sit back.
Glory would have been like good for me, or even one. They was talking about going into one, but then I ended up just transitioning to MMA quick. I just loved it once I started training, so it's kind of like just took me that way,
It would be sick to see you in one though, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then MMA gloves.
Yeah, they do MMA in one, don't they? So you never know. I
Yeah.
might go there if UFC don't snap me up quick enough.
I know. I was on the subject of that. I know you speak to Meatball Molly, innit?
Yeah.
How did that come about? And
Yeah,
just through training in Liverpool or something, or
I think I know a few people that know her. We have the same nutritionalist as well, Paul Reed. So we both work with him, and it was the gym I was at last time. I've moved gyms since I've been in MMA, so I've been at 2. I'm at top team now, but I was at another one in Liverpool, and there was a bit of
rivalry.
Trouble between her gym and my gym at the time. So it was never like something we could have done. We could never have really trained with each other out of respect of our own gyms. So when I did move, it kind of just gradually came about. She was in camp as well, so I just asked if she wanted to do some rounds, and she was buzzing. So I went up there, and she's top. She's funny.
Must be a good experience with a UFC fighter, active fighter.
Yeah, definitely. Like just to get in and do some rounds with her, and just she's smashing it, isn't she? So just getting the training.
She's not shy on the camera, is she?
No,
I love her interviews, man. She's proper like.
Oh my god, you want to go and see her in person? She's funny. That gym is what's next gen? Paddy's the same. He's just wild. The energy up there is crazy.
I think we were talking about when they finish the fight, they're gonna both go out for food, and the time difference. Like, we're gonna go here, get burgers from here, and that. It was hilarious.
Funny. The energy is crazy up there.
Talking about training with people who are in the UFC, obviously at top team you've got Lerone who's in the UFC, you've got Kane who fights on Bellator. Like, does that boost you and others in the gym having those people fighting on these big shows?
Yeah, definitely. And like we're around them all the time. It's not like, because they're on the top level that they're not like bothering with us. They're in the same class all the time and motivating us. They come and corner us when we're fighting. Like they're there with us all the time. So it's just nice to know like we've got their support. That support from fighters at that level. It just shows us what we're capable of.
Yeah. What would you say has been one of the biggest learning curves going from like Muay Thai to MMA? Because like we've talked to Lofty and we talked to his coach as well, Daz Morris, and he was saying that like Lofty would go into a fight and he'll say to him, "Don't body kick," but he'd do it and then he'd just get laid on for 3 rounds. Like, is that quite a big learning curve that you can't, you've got to like kind of pull your kicks almost if you are going to body kick?
Yeah, do you know, it looks like anyone that does Thai can just transition straight away, but oh my god, it's so hard. Like that's the bit I've struggled with the most, the middle part. So like the groundwork I'm all right with, the stand up I'm fine with, but then that transition of the wrestling, like it's just so different. To be honest, my style was like I said, a lot quicker and like on my toes and that. So I was all right with that in that sense. But like body kicking and stuff, I was just getting taken down all the time. It was a nightmare at first, and I was spending the whole round on my back, like trying to get up. But gradually, I've kind of learned and worked on it with my coaches and stuff. So I'm much better now. But it is a big transition. It is tough. For me, it was tough to get used to anyway. Yeah.
What's the fitness like, the difference? Because I've dabbled a little bit in wrestling just before I started Muay Thai a while ago now. And I say to everyone that was the hardest sport I've ever done. And people seriously, wrestling's the hardest. Getting your neck slapped down, your knees, your wrist, the little cheeky little twist they do, it's a really tough sport. And I can imagine, obviously, the physical aspect of doing that all the time, getting taken down back up to your feet compared to Muay Thai, it must be harder, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's I compare it to like just clinch straight for an hour. Yeah. But without like, and then add getting up and down on the floor.
Getting dumped and then back up.
Yeah, and then back up, or someone like pressing on your head while you're trying to get up. Like it's horrible. I don't know how they do. It's definitely not my favourite part of MMA. I'm not even going to be shy to say that. I hate the wrestling. I hate it, but it's tough. And to be honest, when you fight MMA, it's like you get a break between things because you can stand up for a bit and you get tucked down. You can kind of work on the floor a little bit, but the rounds and everything are longer. When we fight Thai, if you fight A-class, you get a 2-minute break.
Yeah, I know.
When you fight MMA, you do a 5-minute round and you get 1 minute. I think, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's mad. It is.
It's crazy, isn't it?
with your stand-up being like at a high level when you first came into MMA, would you have to then kind of in your training, concentrate more on the ground game, like in the lead up to fights and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I kind of neglected my stand-up a little bit because I was working so much on my groundwork and my wrestling and things like that. And then I felt like I'd really lost like my stand-up style and
Yeah,
my
yeah,
confidence in the
yeah.
stand-up because I'd worked and just neglected it so much on the floor. Like, I felt like I had to start again, getting my confidence with my stand-up. So when I moved to top team, Carl Prince, one of my coaches, he got me doing a lot more stand-up and my confidence come back and stuff. And yeah, but I did definitely concentrate too much on the groundwork. It was kind of a focus that I should have made a balance really, but I didn't.
Yeah.
If you look at like one of the top fighters, Joanna, she's got great stand-up Muay Thai background. Yeah. She goes down on the ground, but she's straight back up to her feet. So, you know, I think that's a style that you could maybe adopt in the future, definitely like that still.
Yeah, definitely. That's what everyone said. Like, everyone comes to take me down and I'm just working constantly on defence, like trying to stay up. That I wasn't actually like, I think in my first couple of fights, I got them on the cage, but I didn't take them down because I didn't actually know what I was doing. I don't work defence, so it was like, I didn't actually know what takedowns to really do, or wasn't confident in it. So I think that woke me up a little bit to say, like, you know, instead of concentrating on what they're doing all the time, like, work on what you can do. If you want to stand up and hit, then do that. But if they take you down, just know you can work on the floor as well. Like,
I think you've got the body type for it.
Yeah.
You know, you're tall, you're strong, you're quick, and even on your back, you're gonna be a nightmare. Because you got long. It's gonna be a nightmare. So people think they take you down, it's gonna be simple. I think as time goes on and you develop more and more skills, you know, you're gonna be whipping out arm bars, triangles a lot, and you're gonna have people
I've got it
scared.
all in the bag, just not showed it yet. It's there somewhere.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to ask you was about when we spoke to Lofty, we talked to a lot of people about the purses, like in Muay Thai and stuff, and like, you know, it's just there's not good money in it at all. And like Lofty was saying that like for his first MMA fight, he got double like what he ever got in Muay Thai. Like, has the purses been a lot better for you in MMA than they were in Muay Thai?
I mean, it's hard for me to say because I had quite an alright name in Thailand. And my mum won't take no messes, so I got alright purses. Do you know what I mean? But I think they are a lot more generous than in Thai boxing. Like, I think the Thai promotions take the piss.
Yeah.
Like,
you've got a good following as well, I must say, like Northern Spirit, or everyone who fights there, you've always got everyone's big crowd, and everyone's proper together. You know, it's not like you have 5 people. There's always a big mob of people coming.
You can always tell when we're in the room. That's for sure. Yeah,
definitely.
But I think that's another big thing. If you sell tickets, they'll have you on. But if you don't, they're not interested. It's all a money making thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think everyone in Thai boxing is kind of just doing it just to make money. Like, they put the shows on to make money. And in MMA, it's kind of like they want to see you on their shows if they can see you going up. So like a lot of like UKFCs they've always looked after me in MMA, but it's because like one of the things they said is like when you're in the UFC, like we want to be like, oh, she fought on our shows when we was amateur, and like that's always nice. It's always good, I think, to do it out of like, I mean, I know everyone's making money, but just to do it out of goodness.
The other thing is, like in MMA, there's not that growth in Muay Thai that there is in MMA where you could get to that level. Like the only thing is one, and that's not like the only very small amount of people on that.
Yeah.
I'm always quite like on this. I'm always quite not cynical. What's the word? Like, I criticise promoters quite a lot in terms of like the purses that they give out, because like you never really see like a broke promoter, but like they're paying people 5 tons to get like elbowed in the face for 5 rounds, and it's just like a bit of a piss take, isn't it? It's
mad, isn't it? But then it's the same in UFC. Like, if you talk about their purses, like they get taken the piss out of there as well, don't they? How many fighters have come out now and said, I'm making more money out of sponsorship than I am from your fights?
And it's like that Reebok deal as well. Like that screwed over anyone who wasn't like the top of the top, because back in the day you could have like your shorts with all your different brands on and stuff, and now it's like Reebok or nothing.
Yeah. And they're not really allowed to wear anything else, I don't think. It's crazy how they get that hold on you. I think boxing, though, is a lot better. Like, boxing's, it's just always had that hype, hasn't it? That just our sports don't get.
Yeah.
I seen O'Malley say something the other day, Sean O'Malley, on the interview. He's talking about his purse, because Dana's, like, criticised people, you know, about disclosing how much they get.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and then he was like, I'm not going to say nothing, but... he's up for discussion and stuff after his next few fights he's had with him. Then he's gonna have a chat, but he sounds like he's gonna get looked after. But he's also getting criticised for the opponents he's fighting at the minute because they're not like top 10. He's like he's fighting, you know. So yeah, it's always a bit. I do like the way UFC publish though how much some of the fighters are getting. I think if that come out in Muay Thai, everyone would be a lot of raised eyebrows because I know there's top guys out there who I've even spoke to in the past. And I've not been doing it that long, and I've heard what they're getting, and I've like kept my mouth shut and thought, wow, is that what he's getting? But it's I don't see it changing anytime soon in the Muay Thai scene. But I think
part of the thing is with it though that people will take like 4 or 5 tons just for the opportunity or the perceived opportunity that isn't actually really there. It's just like one place in the rankings, like, but you're getting shafted. Like, I know for a fact that you've had like 10 fights or whatever. You're probably getting most, and like, not to like fucking not even finger you out, but like he's probably getting more than like most, like 1, 2, like in the rankings, like, and who've been doing it for years.
I think it all depends, like you said, on like with your mum.
Yeah.
She's got your best interest. She's gonna haggle the promoter. She knows what value you bring, how many tickets you sell. I think if you've got a smaller gym or you're just a bit of a yes person, we'll take it. They'll fight.
Yeah.
Then it's always gonna happen, and fighters know what they bring. Like when you get in the Muay Thai, they're gonna expect you coming forward. There's a possibility you're gonna knock someone out. You're gonna bring an exciting fight.
Ragdolling people about.
Yeah. Exactly. If you're gonna sit on the back foot and just teep and just foot tap and body kick and not really go for enough, you can't expect it. But that's just my opinion anyway.
It's
so
true. Yeah, if you bring a style that isn't about like
just scoring,
the way you fight, there's not many like you, is it? Is there? And it's like what you have to think is they need fighters on their show to make money. So, like, you have to know your value, don't you?
Definitely.
Like, do you want me to fight or not? Pay me what I'm worth, or don't have me on the show. Like, I think, like, the name of the show kind of people just forget sometimes. Like, everyone wants to fight on your cow, don't they?
Yeah.
And everyone moans about the pay, but it's like, well, don't fight on it then.
Yeah.
Like, you're fighting on it because it's your cow, but like, then you're moaning about the money. Don't moan. Like, but it is such a shame because how's the sport meant to progress if people aren't like it's difficult, but I suppose everyone's in it to make money. What can you do?
I think in the UFC that's an example as well. Like you don't have to have the best record, but if you're entertaining, if you're going through a 5-round war and both of you are like hugging each other at the end, you're gonna get offered another contract, or they might even give you 50k and go, let's fight tonight. So whereas you see Dana many times criticizing fighters like for just sitting on the back or not doing anything, and you think,
or not shit talking before.
That is one thing.
You've got to have personality, haven't you? You've got to be a bit different.
That's what I liked about like when you fought on Frankie Hudder's show and you're like giving it that to the crowd and that. Like you don't see that kind of stuff in Muay Thai. That's why I like seeing that kind of stuff. Like when like John and Chip Fears will go back and forth with Paul. Like it's good. People want to see that kind of stuff.
To be honest, that's not what I'm like. I'm like, people say to me, you need to get a little bit like say a few things online or rile people up a bit, and I'm like, that's not me though. But it does, like you said, it does interest people. In that fight with Gabby, like I would have never done that if Frank's somewhere shouting at me in the corner. You know what I mean? But he was, so I was playing to it, and everyone liked it. So it's just like you have got to have a bit of personality about you to get somewhere. I think it does take you a long way.
You don't normally see people go from like Thai to MMA. What would like be your advice for people who want to give it a go and stuff?
I don't know, like I think just try the groundwork and stuff. I think people, well, I tried the groundwork. That was the one thing that I tried first, and I absolutely loved it. But not everyone does, like the wrestling and stuff like that. It's hard. It's completely different. When you put them all separate, they're all so different. And then when you bring it all together, it kind of like flows. But I think just try out the different martial arts that are involved in MMA, like the jiu-jitsu, the wrestling, and just enjoy it. I think the main thing is just I was training for quite a while, to be honest, with the jiu-jitsu, and I just wanted to enjoy it without any pressure. There was so much pressure in Thai boxing for me, like I was starting to not enjoy it anymore. Like obviously I was still quite young, still maturing. I was getting pushed up to the high like fighters and stuff, and I just wanted to enjoy the sport a little bit more like I used to. And when I moved over to MMA, that's what I was doing at the start, and then kind of went fast again. But
plus, like you said, like you were so young fighting the top the top fighters, you know, you've got a long career ahead, so there's no point doing something that, you know, you're starting to fall out of love with, and then just basically that, you know, you're going to hit a certain level of the money. So I think you made the right choice, me personally. I think even though the Muay Thai community will miss you for obviously not, you know, being on the shows, I think it's definitely the right choice.
Yeah. It was 100% the right choice. I mean, I think I was dealing with injuries as well.
I was going to say about that. I've heard you talk about it many times. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got like a condition in my legs that's like, well, I've had it for years now, but it's like, I need an operation on it, but I don't want to have it. So at the moment, I'm going through a bit of treatment where it's like, I've had Botox in my leg to help it, and then see how that goes without having the operation. But that was kind of one of the reasons why I moved over as well, because when I'm stood up fighting all the time, it's painful for me. Right. So like going to the ground and stuff, it was breaking it up a little bit, and I was able to get a bit of a break without people knowing. So it worked for me. So MMA was just the best decision.
Just made sense. Is there ever any like conflict with, you know, your style training with your mum and in the MMA fights? If your mum's telling you to do a certain thing or you need to work on it in your MMA coach, or is it just very smooth?
Or she's like completely took a step back now?
No, she still trains me here. My mum and Cody still train me. Yeah. I think the good thing is that my mum's style is and style of teaching is very similar to Carl Prince.
Right. Okay.
So it works really well. Yeah, which it worked really well, to be honest. So yeah, and I have my set sessions. So like I'm with them every morning at Top Team, and then we're only part-time, so I'm with my mum in the afternoon. But everything kind of links in. She's dead easy going. She'll work on what Carl's game plan is for this fight, and then vice versa. He's like, right, work this at training, try a bit of this, and it just all works dead well. It's just easy when they both get on and they can just like
definitely
link in with
I
each
like
other.
to get on the wrong side of your mum.
I know. Everyone says the same thing. Like, whatever your mum's teaching you, just do it.
I seen some video ages ago you put up with your mum knocking someone out. I think she might have took a few and then she'd have put them out, and he was like, "This is my mum," and I was like, "Yo, don't mess about." We'll have to try and add it in the video, put it in it. It was like short as a knockout, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was.
That's it. I have to send us that over.
I send it, but I get a few story replies on Instagram when I put videos up, and my mum like, what the hell? Yeah. But it's like that with my friends. Like everyone's always been like, I always used to say when I walked past in the street with my mum or something, and I walked past someone I know, it used to be like, "Hiya, Lisa, you're right." I'm like, I'm stood here, you know, you don't want to say that to me. But like, I think they're just trying to be a bit thingy for my mum, because everyone's a bit like, it's not the usual.
How's Cody doing?
He's good, you know. Yeah, he's
another good fighter as well.
Yeah, he teaches and stuff now, so he's running my mum's gym with her, coaching me, coaching one-to-ones and stuff. But he's like,
has he ever got any plans to return or go in the MMA or not?
Do you know what? He gets asked all the time. Yeah,
too busy living life, innit?
He is, isn't he?
He's Insta, I see it.
I expose him all the time, don't I?
Yeah.
But do you know what? He'd love to fight, but he's one of them that's like, don't get paid enough for how much training it takes to and dieting and all that. He just doesn't want to diet, and that's just not not an interest to him. Yeah. He said if someone was to say to me now, right, you're 71 kilos, you're fighting A class, they're the same weight, get in a fight, you're fit and ready, you do it. Yeah. But like the dieting and the weeks of preparation is just not something that he's up for.
Fair play to him.
Yeah. That's like Paul, that like he says, if you offer me a fight on a weekend, like while he's at an event, he might just like take it, but he can't be asked to fight for the full camp and all that. Yeah,
it's true. It can be draining, can't it? It can be draining.
Yeah, especially when you're teaching as well and trying to run a gym.
Trying to make money.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't make sense financially to take the fight, but.
I saw your mum and Cody was cornering on the last MTGP. Who fought on that now?
Darius.
Yeah, against who did he fight now?
And my little brother was cornering actually as well.
Oh, really?
No way.
Was it Joe Turner he fought?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Did you go down for that? Yeah?
I did. Yeah, I was in the crowd, but I wasn't cornering. Yeah, it was a mad trip, that one, but it was a shame. That was Darius' first fight back as well, wasn't it? Over lockdown and stuff. We were closed for like a year and a half, something like that, 2 years. Our gym's in a council building, so they don't let us. They've took the keys off us. They're dead awkward with us all the time. Absolute nightmare. But we weren't allowed to open for ages. And then when all the gyms opened, when they were actually allowed to go back, they still won't let us in.
Right.
So we were like closed for extra time than we should have really. But
It's been a nightmare, that really.
It was a nightmare, and that's another thing that made my stand-up, I think, level drop, because I wasn't doing the sessions. Them 3 sessions that I do in the week at my mum's gym had a massive impact on me, I think.
Yeah.
Not doing them.
You mentioned, we talked before about kind of UFC making you wear fightwear. Obviously, you've got your own fightwear brand called Dare.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did the idea like get birthed or whatever?
Yeah. To be honest, I've always been like quite girly at the same time as fighting, so I've always had that side of it. And like I've worn skirts to fight before that weren't my brand. My mum, she was trained by Master Toddy in Thailand. When I went over there, he has his own brand as well, his own shop, and he had skirts there that I'd like absolutely loved. So I got some of them, but then it's just always been something that I've wanted to do, just get like loads of different designs and wear different like mad designs when I'm fighting and stuff. So yeah, that just kind of finally came about. It took me ages to get it going and stuff, but it's finally out now and I love him. Yeah, always wearing them.
I think it's good as well that you're wearing them when you're fighting. You know, you're getting these like highlight knockouts and stuff. It's like the best exposure you can get. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It was perfect, to be honest. There's no better way to promote it. But yeah, it's just good. I think it just shows as well, like loads of young girls wearing them. It looks so cute. Like they have their own little. It just shows as well, like you can be girly in the sport. You don't have to be like.
Yeah.
It just attracts more girls to it, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So your next fight, I saw that you signed a fight for early 2022 in Canada. Is that right?
Yeah.
Was it Athenian Women's League?
Yeah, Paul, I think it's called, or something like
Canada.
that. Yeah,
Nice.
in Canada.
What's your thoughts on like an organisation that's purely kind of like just catered for women's fights? Like, do you think it's a good thing, or do you think like you'd rather be, you know, fighting alongside like guys as well on the same show?
No, I do think it's really good, to be honest. It surprised me that they can fill a full card with girls, because I wouldn't think you could do that. But they have that. They've got, Canada must have quite a few girls, because I think they're bringing quite a few fighters from different countries over to fight their fighters, which is crazy. And it's good to see, to be honest. Like, it just shows that where the sport's going for girls and stuff, because who would have ever thought we'd have a full card with girls on it?
It's
like, it's crazy, but it'll just be good to have a night that's kind of all about us.
Yeah.
It'll be good, I think.
And oftentimes, like the women's fights, like I know definitely in Muay Thai anyway, like better than the men's fights a lot of the time, because they're literally just going bam, 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 just straight towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think girls have any chill, really.
No, they don't.
I always say it when it's spar, they don't know how to chill. Guys can just
yeah, guys can like just mess about and play with each other, whereas girls kind of.
Do you think it's because you feel like you need to prove yourself, or?
I don't know.
I'm saying you personally, but like.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with girls. They've just got that bit of aggression, haven't they? I don't think I know any girl, like even the younger girls in our gym, like when they go for it, they go for it.
Yeah.
Like they don't mess about. Even with the boys, like if the boys come at them, they'll go for it. Like I think they just, I don't know what it is, to be honest, but I mean, I can't speak because I've just always been aggressive anyway. Like, but I don't know what it is with the other girls now.
So how excited are you to go over there, you know, fight in front of a new crowd in a different country and stuff like that?
I was excited until someone told me it was freezing over there.
I was going to say, wrap up, it will be
Oh
cold,
my God, it's meant to be freezing, but no, I'm really excited. Like, Canada's one of the places I've always wanted to go, so to go over there and fight is like a bonus, really. But
how did that come about? Sorry, that fight, was it through?
It was through Kieran Keddle.
Right.
He lives over there now.
Yeah.
So
I've seen him comment on your post actually saying see you over there or whatever.
Yeah, so he lives over there now, and he contacted me and asked if I wanted to fight, and he spoke to my management and that, and we got it sorted straight away. So
that's wicked.
Yeah.
MMA,
Yeah, MMA. So I'm dead lucky, to be honest, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is dieting over Christmas. I wanted a Christmas dinner.
Are you in fight camp now?
Yeah, so I'm in camp now, so I'm still training every morning and in the afternoon, and I know everyone's like,
it'll be worth it.
I know it will be worth it. I mean, it's not often you get to go over to Canada, is it?
Yeah,
so I've got
definitely.
to think about how lucky I am, but yeah, I'd rather be eating the chocolate and sweets that are at home right now. That's going to be the worst part, I think.
So what's the date of that fight?
I'm fighting on the 15th of January.
That's soon.
Wow.
I thought it was like February.
No,
Jesus.
it's soon, it's soon.
Literally,
so,
no chance of a little treat at all.
No, not at all. I'm too close to it now. So, yeah, I'm fighting on the 15th. They wanted to fly me out on the 13th, but I said, like, it's quite a long flight. It's like 6 hours, and I'll be weight cutting and stuff and water retention. So, I think they're flying me out on the 11th now.
That's good.
But hopefully get a few days I don't know what day I'm flying back, but I'm hoping I'm going to get to ski or something while I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that'd be
Make the
good.
most of it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So you kind of said at the start that like you get asked all the time about going back to like kickboxing or Muay Thai. Like I'm gonna ask you anyway. Like, would you ever consider going back to it, like for the right price or the right opponent?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Is like, if someone pays me enough money, then I'll do it. Do you know what I mean?
Money.
Yeah, it is all about the money and the fight as well. If it's a fight like that's gonna interest people, then I'll do it. But other than that, if it's not right for me, then I wouldn't. No, it's not really gonna. I always think now, like, anything I take is like, if it's gonna benefit my journey, then I'll do it. But I'm not doing it for anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, if it's gonna benefit me, then I'll go for it. So if someone offers me enough money, I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you want to see a fight at Muay Thai again, get your hand in your pocket.
Your money out.
What weight is it you're fighting at in MMA at the minute now?
57.
Right, so it's still light, isn't
kilogram.
it?
Yeah, it's light. It is light. I walk around at like 63.
Yeah.
63.
Yeah,
so it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
If you think about everyone else, everyone always says to me like, "What are you worrying about?" I dropped like 10 kilos.
Yeah,
and this,
crazy.
And the other, but there's nothing on me anyway. That's the difficult thing. Like I'm not like an overweight 63. I'm like quite a strong 63. So cutting weight for me is difficult, to be honest. But I get it done, and that's probably the best weight for me anyway. Like even thinking about the future, like going into UFC and stuff, that would be the category that I'd fight in. So
if you was in one, you had to do the hydration, would you still be able to fight 57? You think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd be able to. I'd be able
like
to do
Stamp Fairtex, isn't it?
Is it?
She's like, well, it might be 50. Oh, I might be wrong. It might be like 55, I think, or something. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it, though? Because if you put a few fighters to do the hydration thing, they won't fight, would they?
No.
It's mad.
Most of the UK guys who are over there, like they have to go up an extra weight class because they just cannot make that weight, like and be hydrated.
Yeah.
Bit of a mad one.
Yeah.
It is.
I wouldn't be passing it anyway. If I was fighting at what I fight, no.
Thing is that last thing I wanted to say is that everyone who I've spoke to, like who's watched you fight, says that you're destined to go right to the top of MMA. And your stand-ups like is top tier in MMA. So looking forward to seeing you just keep developing and hopefully be in the UFC one day.
Thank you. Definitely will.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully, yeah.
And thank you very much for doing
No
this.
problem.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me on.
Also, if anyone wants to buy the gear,
Fightwear.
hit her up.
Go to Dare Fightwear. It's all on there.
Yeah. Christmas presents is not too late. It might be, but get in touch. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. And
Chat
thank you
yourself.
everyone for watching. Have a good Christmas. Oh, and subscribe as well if you're watching it. Click that button down there and subscribe. Enjoy your Christmas. Have a good New Year, and we'll see you again soon. We're good.